Hello, I'm building a company intranet site and had a question.
Don't
Is
we
there a
all?
way for a user to log into the intranet site on SharePoint and for them to see their own OneDrive files in a section, not the shared files that are uploaded in a different section? If so, can you guide me towards how to do so or where I can find materials on how to do this, please? I want each user to be able to see their own files in OneDrive, as well as whatever has been uploaded, but obviously no one else's. Is this possible? How about through Power Automate?
My first question is, why would you do that? OneDrive is your personal file cabinet. It's like the file cabinet sitting underneath your desk. SharePoint sites have the file cabinet that sits behind it. That's like the file cabinet that's out in the hallway in your department. So why are you emptying your desk drawer in the middle of the workspace and expecting nobody to go look at it? So everything in Office 365 has a URL, and you could potentially put that into a web part. But why? Why would you do that? And every person's is different. So there's really no way unless you do.
Well, the other side of the two is, I mean, I was thinking back to the old, like the iframe days. Like you could have a section that, it would be, to your OneDrive and it would be unique to the person logging and what they would see. And then if there's any problems, one of the fantastic aspects of iframes is when that like something's broken and not working, and then it just kind of messes up the entire user experience from that. But is it so difficult? I mean, you just go up to the waffle and click on OneDrive and opens up in another tab versus, I mean, is all they're trying to do is to add it into the intranet UI so that I have all of those things in one screen versus have a second tab? Is that, am I reading that right?
That's definitely how I read it. And I understand wanting to make the intranet relevant to the individual, but the intranet is not where I go to access my files. First and foremost, my files should be synchronized to my desktop using the OneDrive sync client. Like that's the very first piece of that story. And frankly, if you're not doing that, all of those files someone's working on their desktop aren't going to get synchronized up to the cloud. So that's like your first go-to. The second thing is like I'm going to the intranet to look at corporate resources. Going back to the comment, if you want to link to OneDrive, and specifically within OneDrive, if you want to link to my files, not the OneDrive home, because the OneDrive home shows maybe a combination of like all files across the tenant. But
don't get me started on that change.
But yeah, like link them to my files and just in your nav, my files, like whatever you want to do. But I don't go to the intranet to access my files. I go to the intranet to get corporate resources. That's different.
Well, and then files that are in your OneDrive that should not be longevity or corporate based content. Give them a home out on Teams or SharePoint. It should be work in progress, personal work files. That's it. If you wouldn't put it in a box and take it with you to your next assignment, it should not be in your OneDrive, period. It needs to have a home. If you don't own it, it needs to have a home somewhere else.
Yeah. If we're not getting why you want to do this, let us know, because I'd love to understand the why behind this.
Yeah.
But if we are getting the why, then I think you need a different solution.
Yeah. I mean, my first thought of this too is that like I could understand this from a like a Teams perspective, where, I mean, one of the great things about having Teams is having, the various tabs, so that for a project, those things that are relevant for a project, you have the multiple tabs that might go out to third-party web-based tools or systems or locations, internal tools and lists and libraries, so that when I go in and work on that project, I've got all of the resources that are necessary for that project built out inside of that team. But for the intranet, to the points that have been made here, that doesn't make sense. I mean, my first thought is like, well, why not also add have a window there for my LinkedIn profile and for my Facebook profile on there? because it might be equally relevant to having my personal OneDrive view out there.
Right.
Yeah, I just I think good intention. I'm just like I don't think it makes sense. But
Yeah.